never thought I would stop using cannabis. Literally, I don't think I will completely stop, but when I'm less in fight or flight response mode body wise, like I can smoke more casually, like with friends, not as like an everyday regulation kind of thing. You know, before I was using it to regulate, using it for pain. So, you know, it was used for a lot. And it was so weird because with the EFT tapping, I literally just put it down. And what was even weirder is like there's synchronicities that happen. So, whether or not you believe in God or manifestation, you can't deny synchronicities and coincidences, okay? So, whether or not you want to tie it to mystical or not, up to you. I do, but I think it's interesting because I was looking for lavender to smoke because when I don't smoke cannabis, my ADHD gets really bad because I'm bedridden, can't function as well, you know? So it's like, where do I get rid of this ADHD energy? So I knew I was really nervous for that. And I remember going to the doctor and he's like, well, have you treated your ADHD? And I was like, no. But that's a good idea. I don't want to treat it with medicine though, because my brother was on heavy doses of ADHD medicine. He did not like it. Any chance he got, he took himself off of it. So I was like, okay, I don't think I want like psychotropic meds. They tried putting me on Zoloft because I told them I was anxious and it made my joints swell. And I took it for one day and I could not do it. I could not do it. Just it puts me in a weird mindset. Not a mindset, but it just feels weird. And I don't like that, you know? And so the fact that I put down cannabis alone was amazing, but I was looking for lavender to kind of curve that shakiness that I was getting with the over hyperactiveness. And I didn't have any lavender, so I was looking for chamomile to smoke because you can smoke chamomile. And I grabbed what I thought was chamomile, but I was like, I don't think this is my chamomile. I don't think, because I have a whole stash of dried flowers. I'm a witch. I practice witchcraft. I don't really like to call myself a witch, but that was more of a joke. But I do practice witchcraft. Always have since I was 17. Actually, when I was younger, side note, I remember with my stepmom, she took me to the library because I really love reading and I wanted to go to the library. And I just have always loved religion and spiritual practices. It's so interesting learning about all of them. And granted, I grew up Mormon, okay, preface. I got some books on witchcraft and she told my grandparents, and I was grounded for like 2 weeks. And I had to go to church and I couldn't participate in the sacrament, which is the bread and water, because I was such a sinner. And I got the living daylights beat out of me because, you know, I must repent, kind of like whatever the Christian kind of mindset is. Like, the fuck. So I've been practicing witchcraft since I was 17, since I moved out. And then, you know, I was more interested in it at a young age. But what I think is even better is the fact like I have all these herbs and spices that can be used for medicinal, and witchcraft is nothing but herbal medicine woman, medicine man kind of stuff, you know, using crystals that have energy properties, herbs and spices. I watched that movie Game Changer where it talks about benefits of eating more plant-based meals. It looks good for better health and gym gains. Nice. That's when you say you wanted to better know your enemy. That's a good one. I still smoke, no problem. Well, I'm not saying like it's a bad thing to smoke. It's a case by case thing. You know, for me, I used it for regulatory, and because the way my system has been set up through all of this trauma and stuff, it doesn't respond to me in a good way. You are probably set up DNA wise, structure wise, internally completely different, right? So if it doesn't cause inflammation, which I guarantee you can, I'm assuming you can walk. So I guarantee you it doesn't hit you the same. It might benefit you more than it benefits someone like myself who's using it for regulatory, you know? But what I noticed is with the EFT tapping, like just small things like the cannabis, you know, and once again with the cannabis, I found it so weird that out of all things, I start the pot marigold and it's really helped me. I haven't thought about cannabis once because of the pot marigold. And I'm like, wow, okay. Like that, what are the odds? Like I was looking for lavender and chamomile and I grabbed the wrong flower and I was like, I don't think this is chamomile. Let me look up what this is. And so I looked it up and it was the calendula or pot marigold. And I was like, okay, well, can I smoke it? So yeah, you can smoke it. And funny enough, I actually found a tincture of it online that I'm on Amazon that I'm really excited to try. Probably get it next week and see if it helps my gut and my inflammation more. So I'm looking forward to that. But you know, small things like that happen where it's like you can't really explain how it happened, but it did. You know, I would have never guessed that using that would have made me feel so much better. And so we get to the eviction stuff, and usually by the end of this, I would be so done. I would be ready to take, like, usually in the past 2.5 years, when I would do a rent stream, Sometimes, like, I think there was like maybe twice that I had to do it back to back because I was late. And then, of course, there was like 2 times where I was facing eviction fully, where I had to like pay huge fees and stuff like that. And last time there wasn't that many huge fees. They had like the legal fee, but it wasn't, it was like paid just in time like this time. So there was the legal fee, but nothing more. Because when you go to the court, then they add like the lawyer fee, the time spent, everything, filing, like they add a shit ton more fees, right? So this time around, it's so significantly different because my diet has changed. No more fast food, no more spiking that cortisol. So my cortisol has lowered because of that. I've given up coffee because I don't like the way it makes me anxious. Like I drank a coffee today, I got a medium. Usually I get a large. I got a medium today and I still didn't finish it, which is really great. So, my diet's changed, no more cortisol spikes with that, and it's more plant-based as I've mentioned, and I do get my protein in. Like I eat eggs. I don't eat eggs regularly because I get the egg pretty easy, but the pasta that I eat is protein pasta, and I'm not shy about getting a burger from In-N-Out. That's like one of my favorite places to get a burger. So, like around my period time, the menstrual cycle where you tend to get anemic as a woman, you lose iron and stuff, I would go get a burger, and I still do. I love In-N-Out burgers. They're like my healthy option fast food. And this time around is just completely different. Like the fact that I have energy to even stream after the whole eviction thing is crazy to me. Like, I had such a good day today. Like, usually when I need to do something, I get that executive dysfunction or whatever it's called, executive function or whatever the hell it's called. Like, even feeding my dogs, it used to make me so anxious. I would, like, think about it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm, like, so anxious to feed them. So I'd put it off until, like, midnight and then feed them. And I don't know why I did that. It was just, like, because if you have ADHD, there's a wall that happens, right? And so I didn't understand why that was happening. But with the EFT tapping, it just cleared it out. And my joints have been doing better. So, like, the fact that I could jump from eviction to just today, like, I woke up and did my weeds. I went on live while I did my weeds. We hung out on live. I made the dogs their breakfast. I planned the next few days to raise money for rent, which usually I would just let that rent go late because I didn't have the energy. But this time, instead of being in the fight or flight response and like avoiding things, because I guess what I learned is like that executive dysfunction can hit with bills. When I was chatting with ChatGPT about like, tell me more about executive dysfunction, like I told it about like how I get scared to feed the dogs. Why am I scared to feed my dogs? I love feeding my dogs. Like I've worked so hard to get them on a home cooked diet. I love feeding them. I love feeding anyone that I love. So why am I scared to do this? Is this what executive dysfunction, function, whatever the hell it's called? Is that what that is? And it answered, yes, that's what it is. And it can show up even in times like with paying bills or, going to get a job or going to make money, like things that you want to do, but you can't, there's a wall there. And I was like, wow, that makes sense. So like today was so productive. Like I changed my bedding. After this stream, I'm going to go get a beer from the gas station. I'm going to come back and enjoy my beer, feed the dogs, mop and vacuum my bedroom so it's nice and clean on the floors when I go to bed. And tomorrow, like, I start my photo shoot, which I've been putting off forever, for like the last few months. And hold on, what is this video? The internet might be forever, but I'm not. Anyway. Hold on, I gotta post this real quick before I lose track of time. But this is really why I want to teach you guys about EFT tapping. Now, I'm not the person to fully teach it, but we will talk more about it next week, like I said, because I know a lot of y'all can relate to having that executive feeling, whatever the hell it's called. I don't know if it's dysfunction or executive function, much like disassociation or dissociation. I don't know. Big words for Elmo. Hold on. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna go eat some chicken, then roll a blunt and smoke a cigarette. Then I'm crashing out. Hell yeah! I don't drink coffee because it makes me poop. Very nice. Use it for mood mostly. Nice. That's when you say, you wanted to better know your enemy just doing homework. Hell yeah. But yeah, so like this week, even though like there was like that, there it was like a complete, what do you want to call it, like, when, like I said, when they say your life is about to change, you're about to jump into your new life, things crumble. That's what it felt like this week. I've never had so much pushback getting donations. But then today, like, I woke up feeling refreshed. I felt good. We met our goal. I felt good. And I was even proactive about my goal. Usually I'd be avoidant. Usually I wouldn't contact them. I would just turn in the rent and just pray. Hope that they get it and that I don't have court. Nope. Immediately when I got home, I emailed them, "Hey, I turned in my check. Let me know, verify that we don't have court tomorrow." They didn't answer, so I emailed them right in the morning after I got the weeds done. And there was a good amount of weeds. It took us about half an hour to get the weeds done. So the fact that I was able to do that is amazing. And so then I emailed them again, and then I emailed them a third time before I fed the dogs. Finally, they got back to me before the time frame, because it was at 2:30 the court today, and they emailed me, or they called me, and they're like, "No, you don't have court." I emailed them back saying, "Hey, thanks for verifying that, and have a good weekend." And so that's not like me. Usually I'm very avoidant in it because it makes me anxious. But this time I was like, hell no, let's get this hashed out. And even more so, like, I feel so weirdly optimistic about paying rent next Wednesday. Why? I don't fucking know. But I'm going to keep it there, baby. Okay? And the one thing that I can say is, like, okay, I'm excited to do my photo photo shoot. But the thing is like, I feel like I know more of where I want my money to come from. Remember, if you've been here for a while, I've been trying to manifest $10,000 months, and my bills can be like, maybe 4 grand a month. That's like if I had a good month and was like getting the dogs their walks and getting whatever I wanted for groceries and spending money on cannabis, which I don't even know if it'd reach 4,000 at this point with no cannabis involved. So like, I don't have much in the way of bills right now. My rent is 2,500, and I have like 1,000 to 800 bucks in bills, depending if I pay a little extra towards groceries or my credit cards. Um, but like, it's so severely different now. Like, I know I'm not in survival anymore. That's the thing. Like, I hopped out of it after the eviction thing. And when I went to go see the horses, which, by the way, I was like, oh my God, let me go see the horses. And when I got there, they were like wrestling, it looked like, but they were actually trying to like fuck each other. So that was interesting. I didn't want to see that while meditating, but I did. Anyway, yeah. I don't like horse peen. Like, that is so disgusting. Put that shit away. I am Mormon. What the fuck? Anyway, but it was amazing because, like, I was like, okay, like, I actually know where I want my 10K to come from. And when they say about manifesting is you have to be specific. And I thought I was being specific. Like, I just want 10K. So, like, meanwhile, I was waiting for it by, like, the mailbox. Like, I'm hoping for a 10K check in the mail from where, I don't know. But the universe happens in mysterious ways. So I was like, I'm being open about it. But here's the thing with manifesting is you have to be specific. And this is the analogy when I was driving home yesterday that I realized, all right? The point of me telling you guys all of this is, I feel like you can relate to this, is I felt like I was always drowning. I felt like I was always fucking drowning, and like I could never grasp any kind of air. And anytime I did, it was like, and then let's prepare to drown again, And so the money essentially is the air. I felt like if I didn't get this $10,000, I was going to die, and that I'm in survival. Like, I need money. I need this $10,000. Whereas people who manifest money easily, they're not in that drowning state. They're on a boat, all right? They breathe air naturally just fine. It's so normal to them to breathe the air, and they can jump in the water when they want and come back into the boat. They can enjoy the water. They can enjoy the air and not have expectations. And then when they manifest 10K, they can really let it go, because it's not like, okay, if I don't get this 10K, I'm going to get evicted, right? So that was my mindset. Like, I need this 10K to come in because it's going to cover my debt, my bills, everything is going to be so good. And granted, I'm not at the 10K yet, but I feel like I'm on the precipice of it at this point, closer than I ever have been. And so now I'm like, you know what? Actually, what I really want is this 10K month to come through my OnlyFans. That's what I really want. So that way I can do my photo shoots. I feel, good, because my artwork, my photography is making money like that,